All right, everybody, we're going to talk about autism. You get to see this new side of me here. If you haven't joined me in the evenings, we have a little bit better conversations, not better, different conversations. It goes from my mornings are more of a support group type lives, and my nights are a little bit more of kind of debunking some myths about autism. And I like to talk to people who disagree and see if we can find some understanding together. So just give it a minute for some more people to come in. But what are your guys' thoughts as you're coming in? What's your connection to autism? What are your thoughts about my statements on here? Do vaccines cause autism? Do you believe in detoxing? Do you think there's a cure to autism? What do you think? What do you think? That's what we're talking about today. Usually we get a little bit of people in here. It just takes a while. So give it a few minutes and people start coming in. If you tap on the screen, it gets it out to more people. I'll tell you that. What do you guys think? Hello, Kat. Good evening, everybody. It's time for our nighttime live stream, you guys. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Emily. Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Good to see you. Again, for those of you coming in, and if you're used to my morning lives, those are a little bit more supportive. I'm always supportive, and I talk a lot about autism parents, even in the evenings. But this is more of a conversation to people who may disagree and see things a different way than I do. Chastity says, I'm an RBT and love to hear these talks. Chastity, thank you. Thanks for being in here, and thanks for being an RBT. I'm a BCBA. I love the world of ABA. I love autism. A little bit about me for those just coming in. I'm a board certified behavior analyst. I'm a parent of 2 children diagnosed with autism. I'm the CEO of a company in Utah that supports people with autism. And my big focus is on autism advocacy. And in the morning, it's more parent support group. In the evenings, it's a little bit more of controversial conversations. So just be prepared for that. If that's not your thing, I am kind with it. This isn't something we yell at people for, but we like to hear other people's points of view, and we like to share evidence and like to spread advocacy and awareness about autism and some truths about it. Nene, very cool. So I'm the CEO of Nova Supports. I don't know if you've heard of us, Nene, but we have 3 clinics throughout Utah. We have a clinic in Springville, a clinic in American Fork, and a clinic in Ogden. We're opening up another clinic in Salt Lake as well. Tracy says, I'm in Canada and looking for group. Can you help me? Thanks. So what we do here is, simply we're about to sign the lease. We're in negotiations right now, but it's looking like we're going to be closing. So, so right now we do ABA therapy in Ogden. I don't know where you are, but in Ogden, we actually do an indoor pool and include water safety in our therapies that we do, which is pretty cool. We serve all ages. Our early intervention clinic that is just for little ones is in Springville. And then the other 2, the American Fork one is mostly teens and adults, and Ogden is all ages. So very cool. Yes, Nova. Yep. Nova. You got it. All right, you guys. Thanks for coming in. Where do we stand, you guys? Anyone have thoughts about this? Anyone here thinking that vaccines cause their child's autism? I tell you, I'm not mad at people that do, because let me tell you, it's a very emotional thing to have a child go through regression, okay? Nenny, to work on water safety. Look, kids with autism are 160 times more likely to drown than their neurotypical peers. And so 160 times, you guys. And I don't know any other ABA clinics out there addressing this. Like, this is a top safety issue for kids with autism. Kids are at risk because they elope or they run away, and then they quite often are drawn to water and don't have the safety skills around it. And so we have an indoor pool. We focus on, like, hey, if your ball gets thrown in there, Can you still swim? Or can you not jump in? And if you do fall in, can you float while you're wearing your everyday clothes? And so, yeah, in Ogden, that's our the clinic that we have. Yeah, Ellie, I can see why they think it. The needles line up right at the same time regression starts. Yeah, and it's such an emotional thing. Like, my daughter is regressing, and it's hard to see. It's hard to see the trajectory she was on, and then have that trajectory slow down and go backwards. It makes you sick. And when that happens around the same time as the vaccine, I can understand why some people think this. Okay. What I don't understand is the people that look at the data and make public policy. I don't know why they still push this right now, or why they started to push this. It's something I'm not understanding, you guys. And if you can enlighten me, why are we pushing this right now? Who can educate me? Why does RFK Jr. think that vaccines cause autism? Why are they looking at changing vaccine schedules to address this? Why did he build a committee with 8 different people who either with their own child or have shown the belief that vaccines cause autism despite no evidence to suggest that? I'm curious, why is the focus on vaccines and autism? And if you disagree, you're welcome to come up. I have kind conversations, you guys. I'm not a judgmental guy. We can disagree, but I want to get some understanding here. And hello, Jedi. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Hey, I'm pretty good. What are your thoughts on what I'm sharing up here?
Well, uh, especially on the RFK stuff. He's has like a 30-year track history of being. Do you have an echo on your end?
No, I don't have an echo. Do you?
I do.
Do you want to hop down and then hop back in, and we'll see if that fixes it?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, here. I'll disconnect you, request back up, and we'll get you back in.
Let's try this again.
Yeah, how does it sound now?
Sounds good on my side. That's good. So what I was saying is he has about a 30-year track record of being an anti-vaccine person and just generally.
Yeah.
And I think that there is a bit of a developing moral panic around autism generally. And I think he's just connecting the two. And that's where you're also seeing the stuff about acetaminophen and all of that too.
Yeah.
Is we've put people in power who are not acting on people's best interests.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least in
So
my
it sounds
opinion.
like you're in line pretty much with what I'm saying. You don't think vaccines cause it then, and it sounds like
No.
you're pretty in line with a lot of this. Thanks for coming up and sharing this. I appreciate your.
Yeah, I'm an autistic adult myself,
Oh,
so
are you?
I've
How does it make you
yeah.
feel when people talk about autism as something like a disease that needs to be cured, or damage to the brain from
It
a
it
vaccine and heavy metals?
yeah. I mean, it honestly it's almost dehumanizing in a way. It makes you feel unvalued.
Yeah.
So like I that's one thing that gets me fired up is I don't understand how parents would rather their kids, say get the measles rather than like autism, like
Yeah.
especially when like yes, autism is a major struggle and I can't speak on it from a parent's perspective. I'm not a parent,
Yeah.
but
But
as
you've
somebody who
lived it.
lives with it every day still,
Yeah.
like it definitely has its challenges and obviously I'm on what most people would consider the higher functioning end of things. I can sit and have a conversation and everything and
Yeah.
hold down a job and I'm pretty lucky in that sense. That doesn't mean I don't have my struggles,
Yeah, of course.
but I think to knowing like the rate of like serious injuries and even unaliving that comes with measles and other diseases like measles,
Yeah.
the idea that you would put your own child at risk
Yeah.
because you think something causes it when we know that not having the vaccine exposes you to the measles is
A lot
it's a
worse.
difficult, I'll be honest, it's a difficult thing for me to understand.
I'm right there with you, Jed. I appreciate you sharing your perspective as an autistic man and your experience and how this is a real thing. Like this isn't just something that people can sit behind a screen and like bring out theories that have no evidence behind it. Like it impacts people with autism. It impacts parents of children with autism. I mean, for parents, it makes us feel like people think that we caused it in our child. So anyway, Jedi, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate your time. You have a good
Yep,
one.
have a good night.
All right, you too. Bye. Guys, what we're doing here is we're having real conversations. If you notice, I'm not going to try to get people upset. This isn't a high drama stream. This is a calm stream. It's one that I want people to feel safe being in and sharing their thoughts. But if you say something that's not backed by evidence, I definitely want to have a conversation about it. I want to hear where you're coming from. And I want to kind of be a voice of reason a little bit. So let's see if there's anyone else that come on up, request if you disagree with what we're talking about. I see Jackson who says that aluminum causes autism. Jackson, you should request up. I'd love to talk to you about it. I'd love to hear what you think about it. Yeah, what do you guys think? There's a genetic cause, yes. What's causing this is the ultra-processed foods we're eating. Okay. Hey, if you want to come up and tell me about it, you can. I just sent you an invite if you want to. North thinks it's the chemtrails. I want to hear what you guys think. I want to hear your thoughts. Georgie, how are you doing? Where are you from?
Hi there. Jacksonville, Florida.
You're in Florida. Very cool. And
Yeah.
what are your thoughts on the things we're talking about?
Well, I was a 70s kid,
Yeah.
and grew up in the 80s as well. But it's just like the obesity epidemic. I mean, I remember in school, I mean, my parents, we never ate bad foods. We always had home cooked food. You'd always have maybe a heavy set child in a setting, but it wasn't 70% of children like they are now morbidly obese.
Yeah.
It is something that we're eating. I had all my shots when I was a kid growing up, didn't have no problem. I'd never even heard of autism until like the 80s and
Yeah.
90s when all this ultra processed food started and they started adding all this stuff. I'm telling you, it is causing the problems with people with their weight now. It is causing problems with migraines, people being sick all the time because they're GMOs. You don't know what they're putting in that food that your body
Can
just
I can
cannot.
I clarify
God
what
didn't.
what you're saying then? I just want to make sure I'm clear. You're saying that you have
Yeah.
seen that people have increased eating processed foods, and that's definitely true. You've seen an increase in obesity, and that's definitely true. And you have also
Mhm.
seen an increase in autism. And your belief
Yes.
is that those three things go together. Now, is this just something that you've kind of connected the dots to, or is this something
Yeah.
that you
I
there's
mean,
you
think
know of
about
some research that talks about it?
yeah, but think about it. I mean, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 33.
So I'm 55.
Yeah.
And I mean, as a kid growing up in the 70s and 80s, I never saw an autistic child. We had maybe one that was slow out of 10,000 in a school, but nothing like it is now. It's an epidemic.
Do you know why you didn't see them?
Why is that?
They would send them to institutions, my guy. Like that.
Not the ones that I grew up with. I grew
Yeah.
up in a very large
Yes. No.
neighborhood.
When you had a disabled kid and you took him to the doctor, and you couldn't handle them, there weren't these like therapies and inpatient units. You were kind of forced to institutionalize your child. There were institutions all over the place until the early 2000s. And in these institutions, there'd be hundreds of people and their children.
Why have we
They
heard
wouldn't
about
be
it?
dressed. They would be, pooping on the floor. There'd be like one or two staff members for hundreds of kids. I mean, of course you didn't see them. They were taken out like they were animals.
So what do you think is causing it? It's definitely
It's a
not the
good question. It's a good
vaccines.
question. Let me tell you my thoughts, okay?
Okay.
And again, I'm pretty level headed here. I'm not going to get upset or anything. I definitely think the
The
processed foods
reason
is
why
a
I say that
problem.
before you start, reason why I say that, if
Yeah,
you look at the Amish community, they have no autism rates.
yeah. They don't have psychologists. They don't go to psychologists, buddy.
Right, but they don't eat the foods like we eat.
Yeah, but how would they get an autism diagnosis? They don't have psychologists to go to.
They don't have autism in their communities. People,
They're not
they've been
diagnosed because
out
they
there
don't have
searching.
psychologists to talk to them.
I guarantee you, not like the Americans, regular people,
Yeah, no, autism
because
has
it's the food
identical
we're
rates
eating.
throughout all cultures across all countries. Identical
So you
rates.
know for a fact that the Amish community is having an outbreak of it too.
No one is having an outbreak of it.
I see a lot of it here in Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me tell you what's happening. Let me tell you what's happening with it because this is important to know, okay?
Okay.
So, the diagnosis of autism didn't exist as it does today until 2013. Before 2013, the only people that had the autism diagnosis were those with more profound autism and higher support needs. In 2013, they changed the diagnosis. Around that same time, legislation also passed that mandated insurances to pay for support for kids with autism. And so
Hmm.
before 2013, no one needed to go get diagnosed because even if you had a diagnosis, there wasn't help for you. There weren't the therapies that there are today. And so starting around that 2013, we started seeing a huge increase. Across all of that, there has been a huge increase in the diagnosing of autism. But that just means that we're diagnosing people that are like uh, lower support needs. So people who can talk and fully functioning, that they can communicate well. I don't like the term functioning. I don't usually use that term.
Right.
But people across the entire spectrum are being diagnosed today. Now, also over the past few years, every single pediatrician in the United States, if they're following the pediatrics best practices, they do an autism screener at 18 months and 24 months. They weren't doing that, more than 10 years ago, 20 years ago. This is newer things that we are catching so many of these cases. Now you talk to these adults. I talk to adults every day who say, I look at videos of myself and I was stimming, I was twirling in circles, I was walking on my tiptoes. I think I have autism. And they reflect back on their
Really?
life and they think that they had autism their whole life.
Oh, I just don't believe that. I don't
You
know.
don't believe
I went
what?
to a private. I don't believe that you can just have autism and it goes away.
Oh, it doesn't go away. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely doesn't go away.
I don't know. Just in my heart, I believe it's the government what they're putting in our foods with this ultra processed. Like I said, we didn't have the problems like we're having now in the past 30 years since they've introduced all these GMOs and everything else. It's something in that food. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree that the food is bad, that we have a lot of bad food for us. And you know what? Some of the good stuff that RFK Jr. is doing is about the food. Like I'm okay with some of the
Thank
stuff he's
God.
pushing with the dyes. Like that's okay.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. In other countries, they're not even allowed.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not opposed to a lot of that stuff. The stuff that I'm bothered by is lumping autism into all of this. And let me tell you what we do know a lot about what causes autism. Can I tell you a little bit about what we know and how we know it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that it is mostly genetic. And that doesn't mean that it's inherited from the parents. It doesn't mean that autistic parents are always giving birth to autistic kids. But it's passed down in the genes and gene mutations. We know this because of twin studies. So identical twins, do you know how much DNA an identical twin shares with their twin sibling?
My best friends are mirror twins. They're in their 60s, so it's 100%.
Yes, it's 100%. They share 100% DNA. Okay, so what's fascinating is when you have someone with autism, and if they're an identical twin, almost always that other twin also has autism. Now, you probably heard I said almost. It's up to 90% they mirror. When siblings, it is only closer to 20% because they share 50% DNA. And so, like that statistical difference, as opposed to 2% of the population having autism, leads us to the understanding that it's largely genetic. There's a lot more that's gone into it since then. That's one really easy way to visualize it. But I say 90% because I recognize there's also 10 to 20% of the factor here is environmental conditions when the mother is pregnant. Now, none of this stuff, so none of the correlations that we have found in risk factors, because we know a bunch, I can rattle them off for you, of things with the mother during pregnancy that are risk factors to autism. But we have not identified a single one after the first few days of a child's life. And it's because autism is how the brain was developed in utero. It's not how they're raised. It's not toxins that they develop later in life. It's how the brain was developed in utero. And I'm fine with your thoughts on that. Like I love your thoughts on the unhealthy food, the processed foods. I'm guilty of enjoying it. It's highly addictive.
Oh, me too.
It's
Me
highly
too.
addictive, and
Yes,
it's
but yeah, it's scary when you look around and when they tell you 70% of Americans are now considered approaching morbidly obesity now. That is a scary thought.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
if you look at your parents growing up, everybody was skinny.
yeah,
Just
yeah. People are
I mean, there
people
was
are
always someone
gaining weight
heavy.
now. Um, I I I just don't think that has to do with autism though. Like I think we can agree on that part and the importance of
Yeah.
nutrition and diet and clean foods and whole foods and all
Mm.
of that. But do you have any more thoughts on autism in general?
No, but I appreciate your feedback. It's nice to always listen.
Yeah.
I just really in my heart believe vaccines are not doing it because if that was the case, majority of us would have it. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
okay
we
with
have to
people
be
having some
vaccinated.
concerns
It's
of
like
risk factors of vaccines, but
right because I mean now you got measles outbreaks. That's almost was eradicated at one time.
yeah, I actually had a scare with my son this past week that I got an email saying that he was exposed at school to measles. And he's vaccinated, and I wasn't worried. But a few days later, he
Yeah.
broke out in rash all across his body. And I'm like, oh,
Oh
shoot.
wow.
Oh, shoot. Like, I get this email about measles, and it's real for me now. My son he has rash all over his body. We took him in. They treated us like we had the plague. We couldn't enter the building. They like had us go
Mhm.
through a back entrance, and they tested him, and he didn't have measles. It was just a rash that came with a cold. And
Right. Right.
but yeah, I mean it's a big deal, the vaccine stuff, and
Yeah.
I just think it's I don't know. I'm concerned about the amount of misinformation around autism and the vaccines, and that's really where my passion lies.
Right.
And I appreciate the discussion. You're a good guy. I appreciate you. Thank you, Georgie,
Okay.
for
Thank you. I
coming on.
appreciate it. Have a good night.
Hey, you have a good night too. All right, you guys. If you're just joining in, let me tell you a little bit about what we have. Um, what we have going on here. So I live in Utah. I'm a parent of two kids with autism. By day, I talk support group, and you know what? If disagreeing with people isn't your thing, if you have strong feelings about this and it makes you hate me, you don't need to watch the nighttime ones. This is me just doing my advocacy of things that I think are important and conversations that I feel are important. But yeah, by night I like to have these conversations. I'm a board certified behavior analyst. I have a master's degree in autism studies, and I run a company in Utah that supports people with autism. And autism just seems to be my life. I'm passionate about it. I would rather be on here talking to you guys, not making money. This isn't a money thing for me. This is just me having fun, feeling like I'm doing a good cause. I think I've been doing some reflection. I think I feel helpless a little bit with my kids, that I know I'm doing everything that I can. But I think part of me doing this advocacy stuff is like an extension of my desire to help out autism, help out my kid, and make the world a better, more understanding place for them. So that's really what drives this for me. I have fun with it. I enjoy it, and we keep things polite. And so that's what we're doing here. If you guys want to have any conversations about autism, especially if you disagree with me, come on up. And if you are new here, let me see in the chat. If you are new and this is your first time seeing me, I came across your For You page, put FYP in the chat. I want to see. Do we have anyone here that's new, that just barely found me today? FYP, put that in the chat. If you just barely found me, let's see. Oh, we got some people, you guys. Thank you, Aaron, Say, Georgie, Lisa, Leia. Thank you guys for being here. Roz, N, Connie, Is What It Is, Yayo, Ruby, Stacy, Noma. Thank you for coming in. Luminaria, NJ, thank you. Thank you guys for being here, being part of this conversation. Okay, now if you're in the chat, I am curious. Like, this belief that autism is caused by vaccines is so popular. It's so popular. Let me know if you are one of the people who think that autism causes vaccines. Say yes in the chat if you think that vaccines cause autism. Not autism causes vaccine. Hey, that might be true too. I don't know who these scientists were, but a lot of smart autistic folks out there. But vaccines, you know what? I'm going to say this. This might be a bold claim, but I think it is more true that autism has caused vaccines than vaccines has caused autism. I don't know if anyone said that before. I just thought of that. There's a lot of smart people with autism out there. Okay, we do have some people that think that it is. Neri says yes. Yeah. Here's something I've been thinking about with the vaccine part of this is people are so worried about vaccinating at the risk of autism. However, those same people are first in line to circumcise their baby. Now, I don't have anything against circumcision, okay? A lot of people do. A lot of people have strong feelings one way or the other. I know medical experts that talk about the benefits of it, of avoiding that nasty procedure when you're an adult, as a large number of people, men, have to go through that as an adult if they don't have it as a baby. However, I will say circumcision, about 1 in 10,000 circumcisions result in serious injury. 1 in 10,000 circumcisions. Do you know how often vaccinating your child results in serious injury? About 1 in a million. About 1 in a million. Vaccines are 100 times more dangerous. No, circumcision is 100 times more dangerous than vaccinating your child. Now, we're not talking about the fever that your child might get or something like that. I'm saying circumcising your child is 10 times more likely to lead to serious complications than vaccines are to your child. I can, those references I was looking at today, I haven't put it in my reference box yet. Gluten-free, I'll put that data in here. You can look it up for now. But I do have a reference section that I update frequently. I'll update that tonight. I can't do it right now. It's not misinformation. Let's look it up. Let's see here. You know what? I need to find the actual studies. I don't want to just Google or chat GPT. I need the actual studies, you guys. Okay. People are saying it's misinformation, but no, it's true. It's true. You don't want to hear it, but circumcision leads to more serious side effects than vaccinations do. Now, we're not saying vaccines don't cause injury, but yeah, being autistic is not dangerous either. An ableist society is, though. my gosh. Dino. Oh my gosh. What a comment, you guys, from Dino. Being autistic is not dangerous either. An ableist society is, though. Oh, that's a good one. I need to remember that one. Yeah. SM, what injury do they cause? Are you talking vaccinations or circumcision? SM, what are you wondering? Yeah. She Wolf says vaccination causes much less harm than the disease itself. Yeah. I mean, there are these extremely rare circumstances where vaccinations cause very serious complications. But it's the same as circumcision. And so if you go in and you are more willing to get in line for a circumcision than to vaccinate your child, you haven't looked at the data. Yeah, exactly, Aaron. Circumcisions are very safe. I mean, again, it's safe enough. Okay, here's the thing. The risk of circumcision is much higher and the benefit is much lower than vaccinations. But that is still like a generally recommended procedure, not by all, but by a lot of medical professionals. And so this is not a discussion on if circumcision is right or wrong. I'm just pointing out a contradiction that people have, that vaccines are this thing to fear because of the autism, yet they don't look at the other risk factors that are going around. They just are kind of choosing the vaccinations. Tattooed said, I had an adverse reaction to vaccines and still vaccinated my kids. No excuses, honestly. VB Beauty says, I believe it could be more what I ate during pregnancy. Food has grown too fast nowadays. VB Beauty, you're close. You're very close to the cause of autism. So autism is mostly genetic. We know it's upwards of 90% genetic. That's not something that people can debate. The twin studies, if it was all environmental, if it was all vaccines, like even logical, like anti-vaxxers who think vaccines cause autism, they agree that it's mostly genetic. Like people who deny that there's any genetic component or that it's not mostly genetic, I mean, I haven't even talked to someone like that. I don't know if there's anyone on here that disagrees that there's mostly a genetic factor. Like that's just the common thing. The question comes with when it's, I guess I have talked to some people that just don't know, I've never heard about it. But once I go through the studies, it's very clear. But when we talk about it's up to 90%, the question comes in, what's the other 10% that kind of pushes things over, that pushes things to lead to autism? And that's where a lot of questions come from. ADHD is mostly genetic as well. Yes, Ellie, they've done similar studies with ADHD, and the results are very similar genetic factor rate there. Melody says, I believe it's related to hidden mold and complications like preeclampsia. So I haven't heard anything about hidden mold. I have heard about risk factors of complicated births, premature births. What are these risk factors? Let's talk about the risk factors that we know about, okay? Let's did you just gluten-free just put PubMed on there? That doesn't look like a specific study. DM me, gluten-free. If you have a research article you want to share me, DM me. I'd love to see it. I'm always open to the research studies. Okay, so what are the risk factors that we know about? One of the main ones is parental age. Here's the ironic thing: is a lot of men want to blame women for causing autism. You hear men say that the woman doesn't take care of her child good enough. I talked to a parent just today that her husband blames her for their children having autism, and because of the way she parents and takes care of her children. And so we see all the time. And again, the RFK Jr. and Donald Trump sharing that Tylenol caused autism kind of prematurely before looking at some of that other data that corrected a lot of that misinformation. And so a lot of men want to say the woman caused it. And this is damaging, okay? This is damaging because one of the leading risk factors is father's age at conception. Children are at an increased likelihood of autism if the father is over the age of 40. Now, that same risk factor applies to women, but it showed up greater in the studies with men over the age of 40. Now, here is the thing, okay? Not only do we blame women for causing the autism, but then do you know who has to take care of autism in our society? It's women. It is women who are generally at home with their children, taking care of autistic children. Women leaving the workplace to take care of their autistic children for their whole lives. It is women working in the workforce around autism. And you know what men say? Men say, hey, you know what? We know you're going to do it, so we're not going to pay you much. You have too good of a heart. You're not going to say no. Someone has to do it. We know the women will do it. So they don't pay women very much to work with people who need the most help. And like I could talk all night about how unfair society is to women around autism. Good evening, Lexi. Good to see you. Good to see you, Lexi. We've had some good conversations already. Good to see you on here. Can autism be prevented in any way aside from genetics? So we know genetics is a factor, but there are other risk factors, okay? So parental age we talked about. Infection in mothers. One of the biggest factors is pollutants. There is strong evidence that pollutants, especially from vehicles, increases the risk factor of autism. Now, new research has come out that wildfire smoke increases the risk of autism. Now, all of these, again, are risk factors while the mother is pregnant. Once the baby's born and it's a week or two after that, we're not talking about risk factors applying then. We know of no risk factors to autism after the first couple days of a baby's life. We know of none. Peter, wildfire smoke. What's funny? What's funny? There's a lot of things correlated. We don't have all the details on it, but we just say what data we have on the risk factors while the woman is pregnant. After vaccination, if Tylenol is given, it reduces glutathione, which causes heavy metals enter the brain. There's a problem with that theory, Rahan. There's a problem with that theory. There's a huge problem. The data doesn't support your idea here of vaccination plus Tylenol equals increased risk of autism. There's a lot of theories out there, and you can break down mechanics of how it works. But if there's not a single study, find one study that's peer-reviewed that supports that. Please, find one study that supports that and send it my way. All right, you guys. Oh, other risk factors. Lisa, let's talk about some of the other risk factors. Premature birth is another risk factor if someone has premature birth. Now, you don't have to have any of these risk factors to have a child with autism. We know it's 90% genetic. Everything can be normal, and none of these risk factors can apply. You did everything right, and you still have a child with autism. Again, a child with autism is not a disease. Kids with autism are not disease. They don't need a cure. Their brain developed in a way that makes them different and unique, and with challenges that we need to support. You cannot cure autism. Let me know. Do you agree with this statement? Yes or no? You cannot cure autism. Yes or no? Tell me what you think. You cannot cure autism. Yes or no? Yes, you can. Wait, hold on. Yes, you can cure autism, or no, you can't cure autism. Yes. Sorry, guys. I messed that up. I messed this question up. Yes, you can cure autism. No, you cannot cure autism. Okay. You know what? There we go. No, you can't. But you can manage and help them. Yes. Okay. So the moment that we are putting so many resources into trying to figure out how to cure autism, now I'm not saying we don't put any resources into identifying more risk factors and how to improve things and treatments. We need to put all that research into there. But let me tell you what's happening right now. RFK Jr. assembled the dream team of autism advocates. Okay. What he did is he removed all the scientists and he brought in all the vocal advocates, half of which have strong ties to this this idea that's already conceived in their head of vaccines cause autism. And he assembled this council, and this council dictates where the United States allocates funding for autism research. And do you know what this council has already publicly stated? One of the leading members of this council publicly stated that her entire intent of being on that council is to ensure all resources go to funding research proving vaccines cause autism. Hundreds of millions of the federal government's money trying to prove something that's already been researched more than just about anything in the medical industry. Instead of focusing on things like leucovorin. Do you think leucovorin is important to study? Absolutely. It's very promising. I don't recommend it yet for parents, but it's something that I'm excited about the data. I'm hopeful. I want more funding into that. I want to identify more risk factors. But instead, this out-of-date committee is going to be focused on vaccines and autism. It's wild. I don't know why they're doing this, and it frustrates me. This is why, guys, thank you for letting me be able to advocate and share my thoughts here. This one makes me upset, you guys, because we're misappropriating our opportunity and funding. Leucovorin is the medicine that I talked about, Lisa. It's folinic acid. It's promising. It's looking very promising, but there's only 5 published randomized clinical trials with mixed results, somewhat positive. But one of the largest one of the largest studies with the most promising data was actually retracted a couple weeks ago. So we need more research there. I'm not going to try it with my kids. Yeah, I need more research. I need to see more research, but is it going to happen? I don't know. The funding is all going to vaccines and autism. All right, everybody. If you are new here, let me introduce myself. For the 180 people here, I go live every day, sometimes twice a day. This is my second live today. I usually go live for a couple hours. And we talk about autism. In the morning, it's more of an autism support group for parents with kids with autism. And we support each other. We cry together. We laugh together. We work through problems together. In the evenings here is my time to come on and advocate. I have 2 kids of my own with autism, and I want to make the world a better place for them. I want to make it so the world isn't so cruel to kids with autism. I want to make it so that therapy is more accessible. I want to make it so we don't have to fight insurance. Did you know that parents of kids with autism have to fight insurance? That insurance most often denies coverage for our autistic children to get the therapy that they need, and we have to go and know how to fight insurance? Why is this happening? That was one thing that RFK Jr. talked about getting rid of, is the prior authorizations for insurance. They haven't been able to do it, but if RFK can do that, I would agree with that move, because that prior authorization is damaging a lot of people. It's taking months to get access to these insurance coverages. Yeah, Jess, it makes the parents really worry about the future. Yes. Baby Rainey, my daughter didn't eat for a month. I'm a single mom. She's been in and out of the hospital for 3 times. Does she have autism? Is this, picky eating, the ARFID stuff? Okay, so on top of being an advocate, on top of being an autism parent, I'm a board-certified behavior analyst. I'm a CEO of a company that provides services to people with autism. I have a master's degree in autism studies. And everything I talk about online has to do with autism. And I'm advocating for people with autism, for parents of children with autism. And if you see that little button here that says follow, it means you're not following me yet. And I'd really ask you to follow so that you can see next time I go live and we can have these conversations. Anyone here have, let's see. Let me put this up. I don't think everyone can see the guest request. Let me change this so people can request up. And let me know if you want to have a conversation about autism and vaccines, particularly if you disagree. If you disagree with some of these things I'm talking about, I want to have a conversation with you. Go ahead and be requesting up. We got some people requesting in now. That's perfect. Rosio, we'll see if you're able to load in, Rosio. Where are you calling in from, Rosio? How are you?
Good. How you doing? Thank you for accepting me. I've been trying to get in your live every day.
Oh, have you? I'm so sorry. Oh my
Thank you
gosh.
so much.
Tell.
And I'm sorry, my English is not that good, but I'm being here only 6 years, and I'm a parent. I'm with autism daughter, and she's 4 years old, and she's been diagnosed 8 months ago. So it's very hard for me since I've been watching your live every day. It's been helping me a lot to understand, to do a lot, and thank you very much. And I've been telling all my friends and family that you helped me, and they've been following you too.
Oh, Rosio, you just made my whole day. You know what? If no one else was watching and it was just you right now and you came up and told me that, I still would have put all the hours I've already put in. Thank you. That's how
Yes.
much it means to me to know that you care about this and that I've been able to help. When was your daughter diagnosed?
She was diagnosed May of 2025 last year.
Last year. And how are
Yes,
you
but
doing? How are you doing as the mom?
it's hard. Sometimes I feel lost. Sometimes I feel worried because I have a daughter, and it's true. Vaccine is nothing to do because my daughter, the oldest one, um, she got all the vaccine and nothing happened. She's very smart. She's in a school and
Yeah.
she's a GT classes, a gifted and talent.
Yeah.
And sometimes I cannot help because those classes are advanced. She do it by herself. So I
Yeah.
know it's not the vaccine.
You, I appreciate you saying that, and you know what? I want to give you more time of the day to talk, and I apologize that tonight is not that kind of a. I mean, you talked about the vaccine, but are you available tomorrow to come up and be one of my first guests tomorrow? I
Yes.
usually
What time I'll be
usually
here.
usually at sometime between 12 and 1 p.m. Eastern time.
I will. And another thing why sometimes I didn't think my daughter was like that. And it was so confused. And the doctor told me from Texas Children, I'm in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
She said it's because she's very independent. Like she do everything. She potty trained. She was at the daycare. I stopped working because I'm taking her to therapy all the time. And I'm doing everything
Look,
inside my hand.
you're going above and beyond. You are being there for your daughter. You did everything you went. You got a diagnosis for her. You're getting her the care. You're being an amazing mom. And I want to have a better conversation with you than I can tonight. And I'm just gonna tell you to have a good night. And let's chat tomorrow. Please request up. I'll make sure that I'll remember your name,
Yes.
Rosio.
Yes,
And
every day when I see you in live, I press and I look at you.
yes, okay. I'll invite you up next time. I apologize that it's taken so long.
Yes, thank you very much. And this has been helping me a lot. This has helped me. It's better than the other one in Spanish. Is for you is for me. This is not my first language, but I understand everything you said, and it's better. And
Oh,
it's the
thank
way
you.
you said. That's how it is, and I see it on my daughter.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Do you speak Spanish then?
Yes,
Oh, good.
yes.
If I was brave enough, I'd speak Spanish to you right now, but I'm terrified. You're a lot braver than me. I lived in Mexico for 2 years, and I do speak Spanish, but I'm not very good, so I'm scared to do it. Someday you
No,
guys will hear me, but
I can't. I understand and everything, and sometimes some words it doesn't come out right, but because I have an accent, but I do all my best because I'm doing everything for Asalia. That's my daughter's name, Asalia.
yeah, yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you for coming up. We'll chat tomorrow, okay, or the next day,
All
whenever
right, thank you
you
so
can come up.
much. I'll be here
All
watching
right,
your
bye.
live. Thank you.
All right, you guys, this is fun. This is fun to have conversations with you guys. And Lexi, you don't know. You don't know if my Spanish is good. I haven't spoken Spanish to you. I don't dare to. You know what? I lived there for 2 years. I lived in Juarez, right on the Mexican border, and Chihuahua, and it was amazing. Like I learned a lot, but I never was amazing at Spanish. And I'm especially self-conscious now because this week I lost my Duolingo streak, you guys. I lost my Duolingo streak. Um, yeah. Oh no. Amy and Lex, you can't do that to me. No. Okay, all right. We're going to invite some more people up, you guys. If you disagree with me, if you want to have a conversation, I'm a kind person, but I do want people that disagree with me up tonight. I want to give a chance to give people the opportunity. So what I'm going to do is decline the people that are in here. Maybe you did disagree, but I'm going to ask you to request back up if you do disagree, and we can have a good conversation. Hi, Michelle. Where are you calling in from?
From upstate South Carolina.
Oh, upstate South Carolina. Wonderful. And what are your thoughts on this autism stuff and things that I'm talking about tonight?
So I am not 100% in disagreement, but I don't fully think that vaccines don't play a role in causing autism.
Okay. And just so I can understand where you're coming from, are you connected to autism, or you just have some thoughts about it? Do you have family members?
I have an 8-year-old son that is level 3 and nonverbal.
Oh my goodness. Wow. You're in the middle of this. How are you doing?
Yes. I guess I'm okay.
No,
it's
not.
hard.
You're not okay, Michelle. I hear it. I hear it in your voice.
To be transparent, is absolutely difficult. And the side that's difficult that I'm finding for me is the lack of understanding from both mine and my husband's grandparents. Well, parents, my son's grandparents.
What's going on? Are they just don't understand? They don't know why he's not talking and stuff like that?
Me and my husband has found ourselves with I'm late 30s, my husband's early 40s.
Yeah.
And we found ourselves just not we should have done things a lot earlier, found a career and done things to set ourselves more up and to be able to support someone like our son. And then because we haven't, we were definitely what I have come to learn and accept that we are poor.
Yeah.
We don't make...
That's the harsh reality that most people don't realize about us autism parents, is it takes a lot of resources to take care of a child with disabilities. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of mental load.
I can't work.
Yeah.
I've tried, and the biggest thing that keeps me from working is that I can get a call at any minute and our schedules clash. My husband's work schedule versus my work schedule would clash.
Yeah.
And someone has I don't get transportation for our son to go to. He goes to ABA full time.
Yeah.
I could get reimbursed, but I don't I have to have
you have to be there
to provide that transportation.
And it's not conducive to the work environment. I mean, I am right there with you. I understand this, and it's
he has behaviors, and if his nails aren't cut, if I forget to cut his nails, they will call me and tell me to come pick him up.
Wow.
Just because his nails aren't cut.
Oh my gosh. Man, is he your only child?
He is. We have definitely been on a journey of trying to conceive and have more for the last 7 years now, going on 8.
Okay. I'm sorry to ask about that. That's a personal thing
that's
to
okay.
ask, and I apologize for
I
that.
can help someone. I'm kind of an open book. I try to watch what I say because I am so sanguine and an open book. So
yeah.
But it's okay.
Well, you have a lot that you're doing. You have a lot that you have to be feeling right now, and more than anything, I don't want you to feel the burden that you did something to cause this for your child. Do you feel like you carry any guilt right now?
I wonder if you're familiar with it. I came across a documentary called Truth About Vaccines with Tyler and Charlene Bollinger. Have you ever heard of that?
No, I haven't watched that.
So they break down all the vaccines and everything. And they interviewed a board certified pediatrician, Larry Pavlesky out of New York.
Okay.
And this was kind of my awakening to maybe could the vaccines have played a role? What role do they play? And I've been on a whole research thing since I watched this, and I watched it when my son was about 3. In the documentary, sometimes you can find it on YouTube. It's mostly on Rumble now because of the whole COVID situation. They took it down off of YouTube. But in the documentary, Larry goes to say how there was this mom that had called her doctor because her baby at 2 months old or however old wouldn't wake up to feed, and they were sleeping and wouldn't wake up to feed, wasn't alert. And so she calls the doctor and she tells the doctor, hey, my baby's not waking to feed. And the doctor goes, oh, that's normal. And she goes to question, my baby just had a well check and just had vaccines 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And the doctor in the documentary, the doctor in the documentary says, oh, that's normal. There's nothing correlated there. That's normal. And the next statement is really what got me. The guy that they were interviewing, the board certified pediatrician, he didn't say should have, maybe, it could have. He said that baby had encephalitis. That baby had brain damage. To be alert normally, but be now hard to wake up, not feeding, that baby had brain damage. That's literally how he says it.
Yeah.
And I got goosebumps when I was watching it, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, like, is that what happened to my son? Because that is the exact same thing. That literally is what I did.
Yeah.
When he was 2 months old, I have the date down. It was August 17th, 2017. My son was born June 7th, 2017. And
So what vaccine was it for your child around that time?
It was a lot at one time. It was like,
So it wasn't the MMR. That's not given then.
It wasn't the MMR. No,
Yeah.
that's given at 12 months. But it was like, I think he had his like second dose of Hep B, IPV.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 5 of them. But like each,
So
like
with
a lot
your
of
son,
them have more
does
than
he have
one.
brain damage? Does he have an acquired brain injury?
That hasn't been determined. No, that's not a diagnosable thing that they've done.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's something to keep in mind, is that like a brain injury for sure is different than autism. And
yes,
let me tell you my thoughts about
what they definitely have diagnosed him with autism.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing that up because that's how the doctor said, in that documentary, about, and some, like, I feel like the doctors, there isn't enough studies about the whole synergy effect of putting all these inactive viruses, attenuated viruses, and the metals, the adjuvants in doses, and then making multiple doses and giving our children multiple shots at one time of this.
Let me tell you about these documentaries, okay? And the reason I don't watch them is because they're based on emotional experiences from families. There is nothing more emotional than watching your child regress. I don't know if like you experienced this at 2 months. I don't know if it's hard to tell before then for sure. Like it sounds like your child. I don't know. Did you see a regression, or it was since then really that he's?
I didn't have the. I guess it would almost be like called hallmark. I didn't see like the hallmark. Oh, they were doing so fine, and then all of a sudden they can't talk. I didn't see that.
Yours is in.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say yours is not traumatic
he always.
or a hard experience.
My,
I just want to.
since
I want to
it's my
share
first
this.
child-
I want to share this idea though that these documentaries feed off of our fears, and they bring up these emotional stories. And I could tell you thousands of stories of parents who say, my child regressed after getting a vaccine. Now, what that should do, when we hear common anecdotes like that, What that
Yes.
should do is that should prompt study, right? Because
Yes.
we don't know.
100% agree.
There's a lot of things going on. We don't know if because also around that same time, your child watched screen time. Your child, they drank water. There's 1,000 things that your child did during that same time too. So how do we say it's vaccines or it's something else? Well, we research it. And the fascinating thing is, like, people say we haven't done enough research on this. This is something that honestly we have researched. We have over-researched. We have researched more than any other topic in the autism world, vaccines and autism. Almost the most medically related topic that's ever been researched. I mean, we're talking millions and millions of kids that we've looked at their vaccine schedules. And there are dozens of studies that show no correlation, that when you look at people who are not vaccinated and people that are vaccinated, there is no one is not diagnosed more often than the other to any degree.
Now, when you say we research, have you seen studies of like giving multiple adjuvants at one time? Or have you seen the studies of giving multiple, and when I say doses, there's normally more than one dose in a shot, but giving multiple shots with multiple doses at one time?
Yeah. The with especially the way that vaccines are today, there is not like heavy metal poisoning is not a fear with the vaccine dosages. Now, I'm not saying to advocate for more or less, but this theory that like we are causing brain damage due to heavy metal toxins is just not backed by the research. There is one study, okay? There is one study that shows there are two studies that show a correlation between vaccines and autism. The first study was done in 98? Is that when it was? When was the Wakefield study done? Where he studied the MMR vaccine, showed a strong correlation to MMR and vaccine and autism. And it was later found that he had falsified the data because he was invested in the competitor to the existing MMR vaccine. And so that was retracted. His license was removed, and it was clear that he falsified that data. Now, since then, there has only been one other study. And in that study, it was what they did is they took a data set that had 80,000 kids in it. And of that 80,000, they only had knowledge of 33 of those who had a diagnosis of autism. So out of those 33, 9 of them had the Hep B vaccination as a baby. And based on those 9 kids having that out of the 33, this is an extremely, extremely small sample size. And it was slightly statistically relevant. And that was in 2002, I believe. And since then, there have been dozens of studies, millions of children, and even at the varied dosing schedules that we have today and that we have across the world, there has never been a study since then to show any correlation between vaccines and autism. Now, I will say and I don't know if you were on when I was talking about circumcision. Were you on about that at all? It's an interesting conversation that a lot of parents, and I'm saying this not because of you, but because of comments I'm seeing. I'm seeing comments of people saying, like, as you're talking about this, they're saying, I'm terrified now to get the MMR. And like that is harmful. It's harmful to make people afraid of this when there's no data to suggest it. There's just emotional things. And I feel okay calling this out because my daughter is in the middle of a regression right now. She's 1.5 years old. She's diagnosed with autism, and she has changed what she was like when she was 1. And not responding to her name anymore. And it's like I lost my baby girl. And it's so easy to want to be able to point my finger at something to blame it. But scaring people not to get vaccinated, it also does real harm when there's not data to support it.
I definitely don't think that any one vaccine causes autism.
Yeah.
However, I am a very strong advocate against vaccines. And regarding the MMR, they, I listened to something recently that said that the MMR vax, when you give the what's it called, the attenuated virus, and you give that in a shot to vaccinate and protect against the virus, you don't, the populations mix. So like you have part of the population that gets the vaccine and doesn't have an antibody response. Therefore, they're not really protected. And then you have a population that gets the vaccines, gets the antibody response, and then they're only protected for 3 to 6 months in all reality. And the vaccine industry make us think that, oh, we're protected for a lifetime. But that's not true. The attenuated viruses cannot protect us for a lifetime. And then you have population that doesn't have the vaccine at all. And then when, like right now, when a measles outbreak happens, they want to blame it on the unvaccinated. And then even about the 2 girls that passed away in Texas, they didn't pass with measles. Well, no, they didn't pass because of measles. They passed with measles, meaning they had already had underlying conditions, and they just so happened to contract measles while they were already sick and then die from it.
Yeah, you're questioning the validity of the MMR. You're saying it doesn't work. Are you saying it causes harm?
I'm not saying necessarily it causes harm. I haven't done that much.
Okay.
But what I definitely, well, no.
Okay.
I will say because
I'm worried about some of the information you're spreading here.
I will say,
and I'm saying this with love, but a lot of this is.
Let me say one more thing.
Is fear mongering that you've bought into.
There's adjuvants, metals, and I just want parents to research how the metals pass the brain.
Your body
needs
metals. Your body has metals.
Not, I think that the metals that we get in vaccines, even if you do your research, even the FDA.
You could have every single vaccine that is prescribed throughout your lifetime, all at the exact same time, and not have a level of metal toxicity that would cause any harm to your body. The harm that's caused is not because of the metal that's in them.
I would disagree. I mean, toxicology reports and stuff show that the metals are way higher than what is safe.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you this. Are you this vocal and against circumcision?
I am. My sister just had a baby on December 21st. And she went with her baby daddy and decided to get the K shot. But they didn't circumcise him, but decided to get the vitamin K shot. I'm completely against it.
Oh, I'm so glad they got that. This is wild. I like, this is one of my first times having this big of a conversation with someone that like is truly this against like all vaccinations. And it's wild that you have this strong a belief, but you can't cite a single study. You just have heard things. This that's a big deal. It's a big deal to say that all of these doctors,
I've looked at studies,
99% of doctors vaccinate their own children, and the ones that don't, they have pre-existing conditions that they can't. And so,
and in all reality, the studies aren't out there. The studies for the synergistic effects of how, okay, we're going to give you aluminum, and we're going to give you the mercury, that's the other name, and the flu shot. We're going to give you that, and we're going to give you aluminum and all these things at the same time. But then there's no study saying, okay, we give you all of these shots with this. Like, if each dose has, like, my son's vaccine. So I have it here now. He had IPV, DTaP, which is 3 in 1. That's diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. Hib and
Did you know that
BCBA
the
and
MMR contains
rotavirus.
0 aluminum and 0 mercury?
Where are you getting that?
It doesn't have either.
The MMR.
The MMR.
I'm gonna look it up. I have
Look it up.
John
Look it up.
Hopkins. I'm looking at John Hopkins at their expedients for in vaccines. Let's see. Let me see. And I wasn't just debating MMR, but since we're still on the MMR, let me see if I can verify what you're saying.
All right.
Because I'm not just against MMR. I'm against most, like all of them.
I know you are. And so it's, to me, it sounds like you're coming with this idea already, like in your mind, that vaccines are bad. And there's no degree of evidence or amount of safety or data that would prove otherwise. And you're making your life a lot harder than it needs to be. You don't need to dig so deep for this information. The conspiracies don't run that deep as far as like people trying to injure the general population. I mean, I know there's financial motives for big pharma, but there's also motives. The only fraud that we have proven around vaccines and autism is it goes the other way around, that someone published a false study that did not show that vaccines cause autism. And so the only fraud that we've seen has been the other way than what you're saying is happening.
So my thing is I've always been on the side of there should be no medical intervention unless absolutely necessary.
Okay.
Why should we intervene with a healthy child that's born? Why should there be medical interventions when that child is seemingly healthy?
Prevention. Do you know what the death rate of babies
if you
were
look at
100 years ago? You're all for natural, but do you know what the most natural part of life is? It's death. Death is the most natural part of life. Medicine is absolutely unnatural. That's the whole thing with it, is death is natural. We want unnatural. We want to live. We want to fight our body's natural urge to die. And so
contracting measles isn't a death sentence. Most people don't die when they contract measles.
It's
or
harmful,
polio, or
they're very
chicken
harmful,
pox.
and they didn't exist anymore. But we're detracting. We're detracting because this is mostly about autism. And I'm just going to say this to you, Michelle, is that I really want you to have an open mind about the research behind autism and vaccines. We have a lot of data. We know that up to 90% is genetic. We know the risk factors, and we have never, let me take a sip. We have never identified a single risk factor to autism after the first few days of a baby's life. And so I want you to look at some of that. I have my references in my bio. And if you want to be natural, that's fine. Just know that natural doesn't always mean healthy. Natural quite often means unhealthy and unprotected. And that's just the risk that you're going to have to take. So do you have, I'll give you the last word. I know we've been talking a while. Go ahead, and anything else you want to share with us before I let you go.
I would say, look into what I would want to say if I was ever like in this space.
Yeah.
I always wanted to say, parents, just do your own research. Look at credible sources, .gov sources, CDC, John Hopkins, FDA. Not that I trust all them, because I'm kind of on that bus too. But go out there and search for yourself. And then the last thing I'll say is, I don't believe that our healthcare in this country is healthcare. I'm kind of on the whole thing that we more have sick care than we have healthcare. We want to treat all the symptoms but never get to the root. And I think that there's a lot of things that are kept from us.
Okay. Thank you so
So that's
much. You
it.
have a good rest of your night.
Thank you for letting me talk.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
Bye.
All right, you guys. Thank you for being here. Please take her advice and do some research. Don't believe one person. Believe what the bulk of studies and research show. Look, autism parents, I feel a lot for her because if you're coming in late, she's an autism parent. She has, I believe she said, an 8-year-old that is nonverbal with autism. And what that puts us through as parents absolutely pushes us to believe things that sometimes aren't true and makes us want to believe things that aren't true. And just kind of sad, to be honest. I feel for her. All right, you guys. If you are new here, let me tell you a little bit about what we do. We have conversations at night. I go live every day. Usually it's during the day at first, and we run more of a support group. My conversation with this mother would have been very different earlier today because I don't get into the conspiracies and advocacy. It's more parent support. In the evening, it's a little bit more of advocacy work. My fight is to make the world a better place for my kids. I got 2 kids with autism, and I take it upon myself to do all that I can to change the world for them. I have started businesses for them. I have moved mountains for my children, as have many parents with autistic children. We'll do anything for our kids, and that's part of why I go live. On top of that, I'm a board-certified behavior analyst. I worked with kids with autism for the past over a decade. And I'm the CEO of a company that works with people with autism, and I have a master's degree in autism studies. And there's a lot of misinformation out there about autism, and it's important that we address it. If you have one of these beliefs, I invite you to come up, request up. We're kind, we're good people. If you think detox works, even if you don't have strong opinions, but you're just leaning one way, I want to have a conversation with you. Let's see who we have up here. Oh, we got a lot of people who want to come up and have a conversation. Oh, this is great. Sorry guys that I've been, let's see.
Not just really. Gotta find.
Hey Elsa, how's it going?
Sure.
All right. I think she is not sure she's on yet. All right, Kenish, are you on? Hey, Kenish, where are you from? Where are you calling in from?
Hi, good night. I'm calling from Jamaica.
Jamaica, wonderful. And what are your thoughts on all of this? Do you have thoughts on autism and vaccines or detox or cure?
I don't think that vaccine causes autism. I'm
Amazing.
still learning as I go along. I have a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
When in Jamaica, when our babies are born, it's mandatory for the babies to get a vaccine called BCG. I'm not sure if all over the world, but in Jamaica, it's a requirement that before a baby is let out of the hospital, they get this vaccine called BCG.
Yeah.
But when I was pregnant, I had gestational diabetes.
Yeah.
And it was through the roof. So my doctor advised that they're going to reduce labor and take him from me early. They won't going to let me go full term. I got my date, I went in, but they packed me up on so much drug that day to let me have baby. I was so tired, exhausted for the whole day, and then when I did get birth and they took him to clean him up, my baby wasn't coming back to me, and I was like, what's going on? Then the doctor come and say, your baby's can't breathe on his own, he's not oxygen, right?
Yeah,
And I was
that's
like,
my
okay.
baby had a very similar experience. Did they have to do the
Yeah, and I was
CPAP
like,
and be in the
okay.
NICU for a little bit?
Yeah, and
Yep.
she said, we're giving him some oxygen to see. And I was there waiting. And then the doctor come again and say he's still not breathing on his own. They have to incubate him.
Yeah.
So he was in the hospital for like a week
Yep.
till he finally breathed on his own and I could take him home.
Well, let me tell you
But
something
then
about
now,
this. What's fascinating is we do know of risk factors for autism. Like, it is not a complete mystery. We do know that autism is mostly genetic, but there are risk factors during
yes,
pregnancy. And there things that are outside of your control as a mother. Things like premature birth or oxygen related birth complications, like your child had, like my daughter had. Even gestational diabetes, I've read some studies that there's some weak correlation risk factor, but all of that is very small compared to the genetic component. And it sounds like you are up here with the same thoughts that I have about it. And so I'm going to go ahead and move on. But I want you to have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for coming up. Please keep sharing your thoughts and keep hanging out with us. Okay. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, we're wanting to talk to people that disagree with us. How about this one? I'm curious in the chat. Does anyone think that autism can be reversed? Who thinks autism can be reversed? Yes, autism can be reversed, or no, autism cannot be reversed. Can you reverse autism? What do you think? What do you think? Can you reverse autism? Yeah, reverse. Y'all are so smart. Y'all know this stuff. Y'all know this stuff. Autism can't be reversed. And let me tell you why I don't like that language, you guys. Let me tell you why I don't like that language. I don't like that language because it implies that it was brought on by something. It makes it sound like a disease, okay? It makes it sound like it's something that that needs to go away, when in reality it needs to be accepted. It needs to be loved. It needs to be supported. People with autism can grow, but you don't say that, your newborn baby needs to reverse their infancy and cure their infancy, right? You don't say that. They grow, they develop, just like our kids with autism. They grow and they develop. You're not reducing, you're not reversing, you're not curing their autism. You're supporting them. And those are the things that we need to be looking at, is how do we support people with autism? What makes me really mad, okay, the current administration, and again, I'm not very political. You won't hear much. I'm not going to be on here talking about wars and things like that. That stuff's important. That's not my platform. I'm here to talk about autism. And my concern is that I'm seeing two things out of the current administration. I'm seeing misinformation about causes and giving false hope to parents about being able to cure autism, at the same time as passing legislation that reduces support for people with autism. That's why I'm up here. Because the beliefs that vaccines cause autism, that you can cure autism, that you can reverse autism, that you can fix it with these wild fringe ideas, what that does is it builds up false hope and cuts out all of the support that we need for our kids with autism. Oh, God-fearing. Yes, please come up. Please come up, God-fearing. I want to talk to you. And we'll be kind to each other. I'm a very polite guy. Even if you've never been up on a live, let's just tell us your information. Tell us your information that you have. God-fearing is gonna give us all the accurate info. All of us in here that don't think vaccines cause autism are wrong, because God-fearing girl has the answers for us. The real reason that I do these lives is because I just like to cause Amy in the chat as much pain as possible. Every single person that I get up here, I see her die a little bit inside. Uh, it's funny, you guys. All right. Maybe I'll leave you guys with some positivity, okay? I really ought to not go to bed too late tonight. We've been on for an hour and a half, and yeah, Amy, did we survive over here? How did we do tonight? Yeah, Ange, come up for a little bit. I'll bring some friends up. Do friends want to come up for a few minutes? I really need to go to bed. You guys need to kick me out. Don't let me stay up too long. Hey, Ange.
Hey.
Oh, you got an echo. I'm going to disconnect you and then come back up,
okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's get some friends up here, you guys. We need some friends. If you're a friend and...
Amy, come up.
Yeah, come on, Amy.
Don't be scared. It's because we have to convince you.
Oh,
Do I still have an echo?
you still have the echo.
Gosh dang it. All right.
But what if... Okay, yeah, that's fine. How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
How are you?
I'm good. It was a good day.
Better than yesterday?
Better than yesterday. Yeah, I had 0 breakdowns today, so that's good. That's really good.
My son choked me at ABA today, so there was a minor setback today.
Wait, what happened?
So when I was dropping him off at ABA, I was taking away his tablet and I gave him his choice. I gave him his timer and the timer went off and he turned off the timer. And so I gave him his choice, like, you can give me the tablet or, I can take it from you, but we got to go to ABA, we got to go to therapy and blah, blah. And he got upset because I took the tablet and then he because I was down at his level, and so he grabbed me and he started choking me in front of the therapist. And I was like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing.
No, that's where you want it to happen.
Does that.
They don't judge. They don't judge. That's where we want these things to happen, is in front of ABA. I mean, that's gonna happen sometimes. Yeah, my son has been a lot more physical lately, hitting people, but playful. And it's so annoying because I don't know how to help him. Again, I should know these things. Okay, for those who don't know much about me, I know a lot about ABA. I'm a BCBA. I created the platform where 80% of BCBAs used to study to pass their exam. I created all the content on there on ABA Wizard. And, but with my own kids, it doesn't work. And my kid, he does this thing, my 3.5-year-old with autism, he does this thing where when I tell him no, he looks at me and then he keeps doing it while he's looking at me. He knows he's not supposed to, and he's choosing to do it anyways.
Yeah, mine does that too sometimes. And I'm like, it's sometimes it's annoying, but I'm like, he doesn't understand.
Yeah.
Give yourself grace, like Kyle said.
Yes. You need to give yourself grace. Amy, I put you a invite up. I sent you an invite. I don't know what's going on. I think it's a sign. That oh, there you are. Okay, it's not a sign.
I'm here. I don't know what happened. It was yelling at me about my camera and my recording. I'm like, oh, damn it. Yeah, no, y'all torture me with this. I absolutely, I absolutely struggle. This later life is really hard for me because how in the world are you going to speak on something without links and proof and references? And no, we're not doing that. We're not out here fear mongering. This is insane. But I guess to each their own.
Amy,
I guess in my personal opinion. Yeah, in my personal opinion, I worry about these kids. There is an active measles outbreak, and I don't know what planet that girl came from, but measles absolutely kills a great deal of people that it infects. And polio killed damn near every single person it infected. So, like, I don't.
They always underplay
if
how
not,
bad
you
the
ended up in an
diseases
iron
are.
lung for your entire life. So I'm not sure where you're getting that information. That was insane.
Yeah. Amy, earlier today, yeah, she was that. I feel bad for that situation, but earlier today, me and Lexi talked to a woman that I was thinking, man, Amy needs to talk to her. Pretty much her husband is refusing. She has twins with autism, and now her 3-year-old is showing signs, and her husband has banned her from pursuing a diagnosis. And he has gone all day. He doesn't interact with the kids, but doesn't believe in autism treatment, and then is mad at her for not working and contributing to the household. And it was one of the most heartbreaking conversations. Do you remember her name, Lexi? We need to talk to her again and check in on her. Like, it got to the point that I legit asked her, "Are you safe?" Like, I was concerned that he was harming her, to be honest.
I'll post it in our chat, in our private chat,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
she followed me.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know. I want to keep my eye out for her. I really want to. Oh, yes. You're right, Kels. I felt so bad for her. I just, yeah.
And you know, hearing that from another mom, I can support, you know, her mental load on it. But you know, when it comes down to having partners like that, you sometimes have to make the tough calls, and that's what's hard to tell people, because, you know, like I understand, you know, partnership and marriage and all the things that come with that, but to allow your children to ever be in harm's way over the fact that your partner disagrees with a medical diagnosis is actually insane. And I, you know, as much as I love to pump that confidence into them, it's hard sometimes.
Yeah, like as close as we could have gotten, Lexi and I were like, "You should probably leave this man."
Yeah, I mean, real shit. You need to get out.
I did it my nice way, because you know how I am.
Well, we said talk to your
we
therapist
definitely
and-
needed you, Amy.
Look, you know, I'm known for my bluntness. It's not an easy life to live.
Jennifer in the chat says my husband doesn't believe in our son's medical diagnosis. I
Jennifer.
hear it so often.
Oh, Jennifer.
It breaks my heart, Jennifer. I'm so sorry.
I mean, look, if you can get your husband face to face with the psychologist, psychiatrist, whoever diagnosed your child, get them face to face with your pediatrician. Have this explained in person. If they can't wrap their head around it at that point, yes, it is time for bigger discussions, because you absolutely cannot let your child suffer. No. You know, that child deserves a active, participating parent on both ends. And so it's really one of those situations that, you know, parents are included, grandparents are included. Everybody needs to be on board. Otherwise, everybody needs to, you know, clear space, because that child needs to be supported and understood and given the validity of understanding what is going on in their head, and that it is okay and it is not something to be ashamed of or to need to hide. Yeah. And the only thing that breeds is a need for that child to mask, and you know, that's terrible. That's terrible pressure.
It does the opposite of what the men are trying to do. Here's what it is. The man is prideful. The man is thinking, like, my kid's normal, there's no problems here, and in denial because they want their perfect life with their perfect kids, with their perfect wife, with their perfect house, with their perfect dog, and their white picket fence. And, you know, disability doesn't fit into that. And like, that's the hard truth here. A lot of men have their perfect life visioned for them, and a kid with a disability doesn't fit in there. And I understand that, and it can be hard at first, but the problem comes when you don't adapt. You don't recognize at some point and step up and provide the extra level of care that we need help with. But anyway, you guys, I want to keep talking all night, but I really need to have some self-control here and go to bed. My kids are all asleep. What am I doing? Why do I torture myself with these late night ones, you guys? I don't
You
know.
got yours asleep. Mine is up playing with colored scarves and screaming at me. That's crazy.
I'm assuming that mine's
Amy,
asleep.
we
He is
still
in
have to
bed, but
convince him. We
Oh,
still
I
have to
know.
convince him
So about
because he
that moon
doesn't
landing.
believe us.
oh my
Yeah,
gosh, we're not talking moon
About
landing
that
again.
moon
because
landing.
You guys,
you have to learn the truth. You have to,
You need to be
speaking
unmasked.
about conspiracies, you know, all those anti-vaxxers are the crazy ones, not the anti-moonlanders.
no,
That's a whole different group. Yeah, we're a whole different group of people.
We know the truth. We know that there was no moon landing, and then we know that vaccines don't cause autism. We know everything.
We're so educated.
Oh
We're
my
on top of it over here.
That's so funny. So
We just need you to join our train.
I'm not going to join that one. I'm not going to.
No,
I don't
and-
think.
Oh, I was gonna say I genuinely agree with what you said. You know, like my husband has listened to your lives while I'm in them before, and like he's definitely spoken on the fact that like there was a period where we both had to come to reckoning about like this is not what we planned for our child. This is not the life that we envisioned for our kid. But like at the end of the day, when he realized what was going on and when we were told, he saw no choice but to step up and be an autistic dad, you know? Like it's not a choice is what he just said to me. You do what you need to do. You man up and you take care of that kid the way they need to be taken care of.
Yes. Yes. Not the way that you envisioned it your whole life. And this happens to women too, but I think the women are right there and I'm being very stereotypical here, but more often than not, the woman is the one taking care of these children. And the woman is the one who recognizes that, you know, we need extra support. And some men just kind of think, why doesn't my wife just step it up and be a better parent? And that is where it gets harmful. And that's what this mother that we were talking to was experiencing, that her husband was legitimately saying, like, you didn't parent, like, you're not being a good enough mom, and like you need to do better parenting. And I guess he like had a really big freak out at her when she quit her job to take care of the kids. And like, I don't know. It's just, it frustrates me, you guys.
She was crying and everything. Like she was very emotional, very overwhelmed. You could tell just by the way that she was talking. She was super overwhelmed and just overstimulated herself. I felt so bad for her because I really wished like I could like reach into the phone and just give her a big old hug. But she was definitely going through it today. Yeah,
Well,
it was
like,
hard.
I agree with Ellie in chat what she just said. These kids are given to us as for a reason. I know a lot of us didn't. I mean, a lot of us just in general, you know, the generations that we're from, we didn't have parents that wanted to understand why we were struggling. I know for me personally, every time I would struggle in school, my parents would tell me to try harder, to, you know, do better, to study more, to do all these things. And here I am being like, I just studied for 5 hours and I am struggling to understand what it is that they want me to understand. I need extra help. And now us being parents of these kiddos, it gives us an opportunity. It's like the universe put these kids in our lives because they want us to be able to give to our children what wasn't given to us, to heal that inner child that didn't get that from our parents. And it is very much a generational thing. I think right now, along with the fact that people, we're having so many more diagnoses these days, that has to be because of something. Yeah, it's because we are finally realizing that all these kids are struggling and we need to start paying attention to diagnoses. That wasn't a thing when we were kids.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. If you guys are listening and you listen to some of the vaccine talk that we were having, and you know, if you disagree with me on the vaccine stuff, you're still welcome in our community. Like we don't get into the controversial stuff too much in these morning chats that we have. Please stick around, join our groups. It's all love here, and I mean, when I get on my advocacy platform here, I definitely speak up. But please come back tomorrow, you guys. We'll be going live. My plan right now is about 12 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, is the plan. As soon as I drop my kid off to ABA, I need to not be late like I was last week to ABA. But if you're not following me yet, please make sure that you follow so you can find me. I go live every day. We got a lot of good friends here, and we have good conversations. So, and my wife finished her movie. That means it's time for me to go.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
She watched a movie instead of watching me. Can you believe that?
That's insane.
That's probably better.
Honestly, yeah, she probably got more entertainment.
Well, here's
She
the
had more
thing
fun
is,
with the movie.
she really likes what she likes the Predator and Alien movies.
I love
And
those movies.
I don't know why, but I don't get into them much. They all end the
Me
same.
neither.
They're kind of boring, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna watch this.
That's crazy.
It's more
I
of,
love the
I
Predator
chose to
movies.
not watch the movie with her, not she chose to not watch my live. That's how this went. But anyway, thank you guys. Thanks for being here. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right.
And make
Good
sure that you
night.
look
See you
into that
guys.
information because I know that there was no moon landing. Just saying.
Okay, I'm ending this.